Shalom, this is Doug with Douglas V Amateur Radio and more. Redid the shack a little bit. Got a little updates. One, I did obviously the new here. I switched things around, put the new 7300 over here, and stacked a little more organized over here. A little bit more organized for the cords, but still need to make a new extension cord, power cord for the CB, so it tidies that up a little bit. For this, I started with those Torx style screws, but they were a little too short because I had to bring these under. There's a slight gap in here, so I had to bring them together. So I ended up using it was like 2 or 3 inch screws, but originally these Torx screws were 1.25 inches, or yeah, about 1.25 inches. Could have done with about 1.5 inches, but I prefer using the Torx style screws just because seems like they don't slip as easy as the Phillips. But yeah, it's a little bit better organized. Didn't really change much there, just cleaned it out a little bit. I may change the power distribution for the radios over here. And I redid this. You can see it's a little nicer in there. That Hengsheng or whatever fuse power supply power distribution is in there. That was pretty much a friction compression fit, or whatever you want to call it. I think it's friction fit. It was just tight. I used that little hammer, that multi-tool thing from earlier that my wife found, to basically hammer it in, line it up. Didn't use screws because didn't feel like I needed to. And I might change it out a little later. And if you can see in there, I have my old 8-port PowerWorks distribution there, through there. I've got a computer coming in, one of the mini computers I'm going to flash with Linux and test it out with all that. Try to get Linux 73 or maybe Uncom tools on it. Somehow I ordered 2, but I think I might keep both of them. See, load both things on them. But, because, with the Pi, it's a little hard to do on that, but plus I found out this is a bit noisier when I plug in the HDMI port on these Pis. I don't know if it will be for on the mini computers, but as far as RF, I can hear it in the HF radios and the HF signals. That and the OVF light comes on the ICOM. I didn't know about that light until I got the 7300. I mean, I knew it was an issue, but that's only when I have the inverter turned on. Don't know if that'll change with DC, but and I reorganized my tools a little bit to bring them over here. I put ferrules on there, 10 gauge, so to clean that up a little bit. Make sure you label all your positive cables. That way you know what they are. I used blue tape on this one just because that's what I had. I'm going to get some red electrical tape to do a little bit better on that. And I know better from when I was in high school and took computer programming course. But always label everything. Document. Can cause those problems later. This is 14 gauge wire, but I use these on there. These yellow ones on there. These red ones are for 8 gauge. Now this is just a basic Chinese kit from China. These are the 10 gauge and on down to way small. But this is the tools I used for that. Use this to take disconnect everything, connect everything. Use this to cut the wire because it's 10 gauge wire. Use this to crimp on the ferrules. It's, you know, basic stuff. For like if you've been doing it a while, it's fairly basic. And then just these strippers that I've had for a while. You know, getting things organized, cleaned up, and I used this to be able to get into here to put these screws in. But you know, these screws in. But not much else changed in here. Always trying to work, but got that area opened up a little bit for more storage. That way I have a little more easier access here. I am going to put more shelving in here. I'll probably put something right in here, just above, you know, give enough space for that. Or I may move things around. I'm going to put probably at least 2 more shelves in here. I was going to do it like you know, see like these, you know, like these are, you know, just sitting on mounts that was going to holes. But not much else. I'm kind of rambling a little bit, as I tend to do with the ADD, but yeah, just liking a little bit of organization, and learning some stuff. One thing I didn't do with this, and I should have, is this is to center here is 6 1/8, and it's a little less than that. Probably 3/8 of an inch less than that. Probably 5 6/8, 5 3/4 inch, something like that. What I should have done is I should have put that 5 3/4 inch. Should have made a template, make it a little easier on myself to, you know, get on there, learning why things are the way they are. And I've done it templates for stuff like this before, made it easier on myself. And also, I had the holes were a little too low, and I did that a couple other places. But measure twice, cut once. In this case, drill once. Luckily, it was small. And next time I build a shelf like this, I'm going to be a little more circumspect with how I want it organized. I'll plan it out a little more. But that's just basically it. So with that, I'll end the ramblings for tonight. I filmed this Thursday night. I'll end the ramblings, and this will come out Friday midday. Shalom, 73. Have a great day.